Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we're going to talk about my favorite car, the new Porsche 992 GT3, and why you can't buy one in California with a manual transmission. Remember, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, hit the notification bell. I post 3 videos a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Like and share this video so our channel can grow, and as always, leave a positive comment below. All right, you've seen me drive a couple weeks ago the brand new 992 Turbo, and that car accelerates as fast as a Bugatti Veyron. And I said in that video multiple times, this is my favorite car, and certainly the fastest car I've ever driven. But my favorite car I've ever driven, I think, is going to be this one. I haven't driven it yet, but I can't wait to do a review and bring it to you guys, and that's the 992 GT3. Now, before we get into why you can't buy one in California, let me give you some background information. It's got a similar horsepower of the outgoing model, 500 horsepower. You got a 9,000 RPM redline. You're going to be 2 available transmissions, dual clutch or 6-speed manual. Now, interesting enough, if you remember back in 2015 or so, the 991.1 GT3 was PDK only. The purists like me cried, give us our manual GT3, and the manual GT3 came back as an option on the second generation GT3 of the 991 chassis, the 991.2. And believe it or not, though the 991s were sold 80 to 90% PDK cars, for the 991.2 models like mine, the GT3 was the most popular model, and 70% of the GT3 buyers picked a manual transmission, believe it or not. So that's fantastic. The most visceral model outside of a GT2 RS or a GT3 RS was actually chosen, was the most popular model, more than the Carrera S, the 4S, the S, the base model like mine combined, and that most visceral model got the manual transmission. So that gave us the manual transmission coming for this car. Now, you still have the 500 horsepower engine, you have a 9,000 RPM redline, of course it's rear wheel drive, but this car is 17 seconds faster around the Nürburgring. How does it do it? It does it with the spoiler, the diffusers, and some other bits which we'll get to in a later video. So if this car is so great and 17 seconds faster around the Nürburgring than the previous model, why can't you get it in a manual transmission only in California? Well, that has to do with testing. So basically there's a test, and Road and Track first reported this the other day. There's a test that every car has to pass, basically a drive-by noise test by the SAE, which stands for Society of Automotive Engineers. And this test has been updated in 2020, so Porsche actually designed the car around this test so they would pass it. Apparently, everybody has the new standards of 2020 except for California. They haven't updated their procedures yet. So under the old test, the manual transmission won't pass. And the reason for this is simple. The test has to be done at full throttle, basically full throttle acceleration going up to redline to see how loud the car gets. In this case, I believe in this exact California test, the GT3 would be in 3rd gear on a manual car. Going up to 9,000 RPM, it gets too loud, it fails the test. So why doesn't the PDK fail the test? Because of course they would go up to the 9,000 redline as well. Well, there was an important thing in the old tests, which is only California uses apparently, that when you do the maximum acceleration, you have to ensure that there isn't a kickdown of the transmission. So if you see me test some PDK cars on this channel, we have a 718 Cayman S video coming up. We've driven the 992 Turbo, which only comes in PDK. And if you were, say, in 5th gear, wanting to pass somebody, you put your gas pedal down and would drop 2 gears or whatever, drop to 3rd gear. Same thing if you're in 3rd gear, it could drop you to 1st. So you couldn't let it drop a gear to do the test the way the California test is written. So for example, if the PDK car had to be in 3rd gear for this test, you would have to accelerate slowly so the car wouldn't kick down to 2nd or 1st. And if it kicks down, remember it's going to be in a higher RPM and approach that red line faster. So your acceleration is more gentle on the PDK car. And because you can't let the throttle kick down, otherwise you'd have to do the test all over, it never gets up to that 9,000 RPM, therefore never gets to that decibel level. Now, one caveat of this story, I know everybody's making a big deal of this story, but California can adopt a new test that every other state uses, and then Porsche had already engineered this car to pass it. So as long as they pass this test, at some point I think on the 992 GT3 lifetime, they're going to do that, then you'll be able to drive a manual transmission. You just can't do it right now. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.